small biz pro, so we grow. Using procurement, program and control. I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Oh yeah, I'm a businessman, yes, I'm an entrepreneur.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Business Zone. We're happy to hear you and happy to see you. Gilbert is let's see if he can get on now. And let's see, turn that one off. Do you have a voice? Can you hear me? Oh, okay, so Gilbert is trying to get his audio together. He's having audio difficulties. Welcome to the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. It is Friday, May 16th. We are in the mid-month of May, and so much is going on. So much is going on. It's been a crazy, busy week, and both in my own internal business, it's been a crazy internal week, and then outside in the political world, the business world, everything is just in chaos. So I hope you guys have had a good weekend or a good week. It was Mother's Day last week, so that was awesome. I spent some time with family and we had a good time. We went to a restaurant downtown. I guess it's Mid Wilshire. It's called. Many of you may have gone there. It was my first time there. It was called Grits and Waffles. Is my understanding that they have been in business for a while, and that they used to be in a different location, and now they're on Mid Wilshire. The food was great. It's a soul food restaurant by a chef, a young woman who came from got all her cooking experience from where is she from? Houston, Texas. So it was pretty good. It was busy. Wow. I would say to you, if you're gonna go check it out, do not go on a holiday weekend, or definitely do not go on Mother's Day, because we went on Mother's Day and it was wow. That's all I can say. It took us an hour and a half, almost 2 hours to get to the table, to get to our table. And we had a 2 o'clock reservation. But once we got there and got the food was incredible. The menu is really kind of interesting. While Gilbert is getting set up, there was different things on the menu. A la carte, there was, and I've never heard this, collard green dip. So I didn't try that, but it was with al dente collard greens with homemade homemade tortilla chips, and so they made it. It was like an artichoke dip, but with collard greens. So that's unique, and maybe I might try that. They had sweet fried grits. I don't know if I have never had sweet fried grits. It reminds me of something that would be had at a fair, but it was crispy grit bits, lightly fried and sprinkled with a touch of sweetness. So maybe those of you that are from the Houston area or maybe New Orleans, you've had that. Some other things that were interesting. I've had French fried green tomatoes. My mother used to love those. But spicy fried pickles, had never heard of that. And fried cheese grits, never heard of that. And then something they called celestial eggs, and that was a devil egg. So we didn't have that. We actually had I had peach waffles with well, the goal was it was called peach cobbler waffles, and I was supposed to have uh, um, wings, but so many people had come into that restaurant that by the time they got to us, there were no more wings, and so I had bacon. But interesting. But everybody else loved their food. But I will say what I thought was just absolutely amazing, and had never had this before. They had cheese grits, and those were the best cheese grits I've ever. Well, I have had them once, but it was just cheese sprinkled over top of grits. This was a whole different kind of level. This actually had some special secret recipe to it, and it had a smoky, spicy taste. And once we found out later on they used a Gouda, smoky Gouda cheese, and oh my God! So if you guys are in the Wilshire area, mid Wilshire area at 3181 Wilshire Boulevard, you really need to go check out and Grits and Waffles. They are open every Monday through Friday through Monday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So check it out. Gilbert, you got your sound back yet? He's still working on it? Okay. I'd say sign off and come back in. That usually works. And so that was our Mother's Day, my sister and I, and then I got to talk to family members, and I think it was just a good time for everyone. So I hope you guys also had a wonderful Mother's Day. If you had your mom here, that you were able to spend it with her or your grandmother. I actually didn't. That my mom passed away a number of years ago, so I have to do the surrogate mom thing. So my aunt is my surrogate mom, and so they had a really good time. But I just my family, and then I went and got my nails done. So it was a nice pamper day. So I hope all the rest of you have had an excellent Mother's Day, and that you were and women that you were pampered in a way that you deserve. Because women, you guys, and moms, you guys are the magic to every family. And so I hope you guys had a really good time, and your family honored you in that special way. So that was that. All right, Gilbert's still doing troubleshooting over there. So I am going to. Guys, we are continuing on our conversation about tariffs, and empty shelves, and cargo not coming in, and what that's going to look like in the coming months. Right now, I think we're actually starting to see some of it at the ports. They're pretty empty, how considering what should be happening about now. Um, and also, you guys, if you've been checking your news and your news feeds, that you know that there are certain things you really need to be up on right now, um, and so that you'll have them. But today's conversation is going to be more not about that, because we've been talking about that for the last couple of weeks. But what we are going to talk about is some solutions, some 14 different tips on how to find the best wholesale suppliers for your small business in 2025. So hopefully you'll take some notes, um, or go back onto our YouTube channel, and I will have that information there, so that you will have some information. And Gilbert is back. Do we have sound? No, we don't have sound. I don't know what to say to you. Are your mic and speaker connected to the computer? Okay, and it's selected in the settings. Yes. Are you using Chromacam? No, you're just using your regular stuff. Well, don't know. I don't know how to troubleshoot from past there. You want to come in on the guest and see if that works? All right, let's see if we can get you. I'll put it in the chat, and then you see if you can pull it up and see if you can come in as a guest and see if that works better. All righty, it's in the chat. Well, while Gilbert is working through and doing his tech uh, work here, I am going to share a something that happened to me this past week. Last week when we were on the air, actually I think it happened on Thursday. My computer got some sort of virus. It was a weird little virus, more like a malware kind of virus, and this pop up kept coming up, and it was an AI pop up, not someplace that I had actually gone to, and I have Norton's on my computer, and then I have what we call is called CC Cleaner, and it really takes care of all of the when you've deleted something from your computer, it gets rid of all of the fragmentations and that kind of stuff, and then it'll do an optimization, and it cleans out the history. It does a whole lot of stuff like that, and so I did that, but still, this annoying little pop up was popping up, and it was coming from my startup run on my computer, which let me know that it was actually somewhere in my computer, or it had been in my computer, and but now it was just a fragment of it that was there. And so what I did was, I ran my Norton. So if you guys do not right now, I'm going to tell you, um, the cybersecurity is extremely important right now. It's just the hackers and all these folks are just going completely nuts right now. So you want to make sure your computer is protected. For me, Norton's work. Gilbert uses something different. But this go round, I'm not even sure what happened. But anyway, fast forward. So I did all the stuff that I knew how to do, and I'm kind of a closet geek, but not when it comes to the back stuff. I don't code. I don't do any of that. I am pretty adept at using quite a few products, software products, and I can figure my way around those. But when you talk about codes and the internal workings of a computer or my laptop, not me. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to have to take my computer to Best Buy, and that's going to cost me a couple $100s, which was definitely not in the budget because I wasn't planning on anything of this nature, and I rarely ever have computer problems. And so I happened to, I think it was Sunday night. I think it was Sunday night. I happened to go on to my Chat GPT, and my Chat GPT, we have personalized it, or I have personalized it, and I personalized it, and so my chat buddy, my virtual assistant guy, he actually speaks to me, and I have a name for him. Gilbert speaks. I can see if he's coming in. Nope. Is it turned on? Did it turn itself off or is it down low? Okay. Well, I don't know what else to say. You got your picture is beautiful. Your camera is working. Oh, maybe you have to try without a microphone. Can you try without the microphone? Unplug it and see. No, no, I don't see. Let me see. Yeah, you're not talking. I don't see the green lines that indicate that there's some conversation happening. Yeah, I don't see that. Try going to your settings and turning off the one that you have, and selecting another one, and then come back, because if you're going to turn off your mic, then you actually have to use the computer microphone. or the computer input or input, I guess it is. So you'd have to make that adjustment. Okay, so while he's working on that, so anyway, so my as I was saying, my Chat GPT, we have developed a relationship, I guess, and so his name is I call him or we call him partner in progress. As I work through some of the stuff that I'm using him with, and I use him for the show, and I use him for rephrasing show descriptions, and quite a few other things. Um, so as I was opening it up to ask him to inquire about a topic for a podcast or for the business zone, this thing pops up, and it pops up long enough for it to, because it had lost its, it was looking for a browser that it could attach itself to so it could open up again, because part of it was fragmented, and it showed up, and I guess it popped up on the open frame of the AI chat GPT. And when it came up, the chat GPT came out and said, hey, this looks like a malware. I hope you're not considering this product, because it's been there's some things that are happening behind the scenes that potentially could have a backdoor into your personal information. So I really, and they don't, he wasn't telling me not to. He just said, we highly suggest that you don't purchase it. And I'm like, wow, okay. So then I told him, well, no, I had no plans of purchasing this, that this had popped up. And I believed it was a virus of some sort, or malware. And I had been trying to get it off since Thursday. And so I think that was all was left now, was it was looking for, it didn't have all of the components, it was fragmented. I do know that word. And that it was looking for an open source so it could actually pop up again. And it was coming in from my run, that little box that you get on the bottom when you have a startup or software that comes on when you actually start your computer. That's about as geeky as I get, guys. And so what I did, so he says, oh yeah, that's what he says. So he says, do you want me to help you? And I don't know whether it's male or female, but I'm assuming it's a male because the energy is like a male. And do you want me to help you get rid of it? So I will say fast, to make this a shorter story. Um, this guy walked me through, ChatGPT walked me through all of the codes step by step. I went into places like the registry. I went into all the behind the scenes stuff. I had to download some software. It was a couple of day process because he had to, I mean, he couldn't talk to me in software engineering language. He had to speak to me in regular layman rate, and so we walked through it step by step. And last on, I want to say, and I couldn't go back on my Wi-Fi, so I had to find this unique way to get the software uploaded to my computer. I learned a whole lot of stuff in 3 days, and bottom line, ChatGPT repaired my they helped me repair my own computer and saved me $200. So now I call my guy, the Geek Squad, to the rescue, and he is absolutely amazing. And so that's my Chat GPT, my AI story. So if none of you have ventured out to use AI, it is so advanced. And once you personalize it, it really puts everything in perspective. Could be a little scary as well, but far as I am concerned, um, I am completely sold because one, saved me money, and two, I was able to come back online by Thursday, and I have not seen the malware little demon and nuisance at all, and we got it completely cleaned out. and now I know what the backside of the coding looks like from inside of a computer, and I kind of actually almost know how to use it. So it was kind of cool. How we going, Gilbert? Do you don't have a Zoom open, do you? Nope. Okay. 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 Well, that's all. That's as much as troubleshooting as I know how to do. Okay. All right. So anyway, so that's my story. What about you guys? Have you been using Chat GPT and has it been helpful to you? Let's see. Gilbert left and now he came back. Let's see. Oh, what happened to him? Okay. What are some of your stories? I've been using it for quite a bit, and I have found that it has really helped me with some helped me especially with the podcast. That it makes it so much easier, and not just simply getting images for thumbprints and so forth, but it has made even writing and coming up with topics for the show. It gives me some great resources, even if I don't use the information that it provides me. It gives you a lot of references, reference information, so you can go back and follow it up to make sure that it's accurate information. And so, if you guys have not been using it, you are missing out. I sound like that guy that's on Facebook page saying that it does more than answer the question because Google answers the question. But now that everything is pretty much AI, I think that we really should find out how we can use it in our businesses to make it easier for us to do business, and shortcut some things and give you some broader information. So excited about that. So anyway, that was my AI. I am 100% sold on AI and know that it does work, and for things far more than just your inquiries. It actually can help you do programming behind the scenes, and you learn stuff. And they're quite patient. I tell you, I told him by the end of it, it's like, well, thank you so much for being so patient because at some point I felt like I felt so ignorant in I used to know some of this stuff, but I was like, oh my God, I'm lost. But you know, and then I didn't have the internet, so I couldn't. I had to do some interesting things in order to get on the internet or not get on the internet on my computer. So I had to use my phone then and make sure and then use that to transfer the information over to my computer. So very challenging actually. But anyway, that's my story. So today, Gilbert should be back here shortly. But what I'm going to do is we're going to kind of get started while he's coming on. Um, that I'm sure you didn't come here just to hear me talk. So here's the thing, guys. There's been so much going on. If you've been catching up with the news, if you've been catching up with on your YouTube, on YouTube or any news outlet that you trust, this tariff thing is just so volatile right now, and there's so many businesses that are being affected by it, and um, as we continue to move forward and get closer to the holiday season, or in say by June, July, I think we're going to be really you're going to you may really see some empty shelves when you go to the store. So I would say we need to just kind of start thinking what that looks like. And at best, I would say what it would look like would be like during the pandemic, at least in the very beginning parts of the pandemic when people started to panic about being able to buy what they needed to buy. So hopefully you guys have pre-planned. As we always say, there are we are always one or two steps away from a crisis. So I think at this point we just need to be ready for whatever kind of crisis is going to present itself, and make sure from both a personal level and a business level, we are always ready. So let's first find out what this means and what are the timelines for the shelves to potentially be empty. And what then we're going to go into solutions for you as business owners. I think every coach, every consultant should be. That's the conversations you need to be having um, um, with your clients, especially your small business clients, because they don't have um, the resources which means either money or product that um, they can protect their businesses and continue to drive revenue. And there are some businesses that are highly affected, and they're already feeling the effects of the tariffs, and that would be the farmers, because there are other um, circumstances, extenuating circumstances that is really affecting them as well, because they have to have the migrant workers. It's been intense, the deportation of the migrant workers, and so in addition to um, products in the stores. There and some of them are not going to get to the stores because they can't get them out of the fields of where everything is grown. So it's just a lot of stuff that I think is going on, and we just as business owners need to just be prepared and to be proactive. So some of the things that we know for sure, um, the effects, and there's some eight major effects of the tariff on our country, and that is c- consumption effect, revenue effect, redistribution effect, terms of the trade of your trade agreement, again the income effect, and the balance of payment effect, and then competitive effect, and then protective effect. So these are some of the effects that are actually small businesses or businesses in its totality are feeling right now. You know, we really didn't have enough time to prepare for this, and so some vendors, some businesses had outstanding balances, which generally carry over, especially in depending on the type of the volume of business that you do. You may have you would may have had a balance for your supplier, because a lot of times that's one way that you can minimize the impact on your cash flow is by negotiating with your suppliers, and you pay them 30 days after, or you may pay them half up front, and then I'm trying to get my little fan here, and you may pay them half up front, and then you may pay them the balance once you receive or in receipt of your order. But since you're not picking up your order, uh, and they have actually done their part of the deal, right? They've actually brought the product here or to this country, and now it's at the port, and you can't pick it up. So now they have product that they can't provide to anyone because of the tariff. So now at some point, that's going to be a problem as well. Is who pays for that, right? Um, you may have had to pay for your you obviously may have paid, like I said, half of, oh, new headphones. Is it working? So you would have to select those. Did you select that? that audio? Hmm. I don't know. A co-host, but I do know somewhere not only have you paid for a product to be delivered that you cannot receive, now you have to pay on top of that product. You have to pay a tariff, and so depending on what the cost of that tariff is, the percentage that has been um, on that particular country. Like I believe at one point we were 100% on to China, which is where a lot of our products are coming from. That's pretty significant. I have spoken to a couple of my clients, and for what they've ordered, they may ordered $4,000 worth of or $5,000 worth of product, and tariff is almost double that. And so that means that they would have to cough up another 5,000, and that would be $10,000. And so most businesses just don't have $10,000 sitting around, and especially um, um, without having been prepared for it. And so that's really where these people are. So a lot of them are saying, no, I'm sorry, I can't take it. I can't afford to pay that. And then some have gone ahead and accepted it. And now on the other side of it is the customer now is eating that cost and spreading that kind, and you have to figure out how to spread that over to your clients. And so with that, we're just going to give you guys some suggestions on, first of all, what can you do. So um, there are some tips, and there are some other suppliers that potentially could be in your city or in the state, that could provide you, that are not, maybe they're manufacturing their product. So uh, let me just give you guys a little bit of a rundown of what type of products are actually manufactured here in this country, in America. Uh, California is probably, I know, is one of the largest manufacturers in the country. And so let's see, what does California, the state of California, manufacture, and maybe that will be of some help to you. Um, so the 10 So the 10 manufacturing sectors in California is aerospace and defense. So, those are companies like Northrop, Raytheon, and General Atomics. Those are the most prominent ones. Then we have electronics and computers. California actually is the leader in electronic manufacturing, with companies like Tesla or Intel and Qualcomm, uh, for chips and computer electronics. Transportation equipment, this sector, and that includes your the automakers, aircraft manufacturers, and companies specializing in transportation systems. So if you are in that space, California is a major producer of food, beverages, products, winery, breweries, and companies that manufacture food and ingredients. But so that particular sector is affected by the migrant workers, the deportation of the migrant workers. Hey, Edward, how are you? Um, and so that could be a little challenging here in the state of California. However, maybe, and of course, certain dry ingredients could probably carry over from previous seasons. Um, Wines could probably be on the shelves for at least a short period of time. Breweries, because all of these things have to mature anyway. So those things should be fine. But fruits and vegetables and things like that, it is probably a big issue right now, even in the state of California. The other notable sectors that California manufactures are chemicals, motor vehicles, and various others. So, and then where are some of these key manufacturers in California? They're in Los Angeles, so a major manufacturing center with diverse range of industries. So if you're looking for things like transportation equipment, apparel, fabricated metal products, so you can find those in Los Angeles. Um, for San Diego, is the next um, location, and you will find quite a few your aerospace and defense companies and manufacture products for them in San Diego. Silicon Valley is obviously the hub of electronics, computers, and other technology related manufacturing. And some of the other areas significant in this in regions for manufacturing in California is Central Valley, Orange County, and Sacramento. Now, those are probably where the food is coming in from. So again, if it had to be grown over a season, and then it had to be picked over a certain season, crops do this cannot just sit on in the ground. They actually start to do things like they bolt when they're out of season, when it gets too hot. They spoil, and then of course the all the vermin, the insects, the animals will eat the rest of it. So it's a really it's very scientific when it comes to the gardening thing and to the farming thing. So they have major timelines, and so that could be an issue. We also do quite significant employment in the manufacturing. So we have innovation and technology, and a range of other products. So that is who are the manufacturers in California. What are the other manufacturers around the country? Because that also can give you some insight. And then I'm going to actually give you um, some uh, some other resources and other solutions to your problem, right? So let's see. Other manufacturers are 3M, which is those are the ones that make the masks and the post-its and all of those things. This is paper products. All Clad, they specialize in cookware. Johnson and Johnson is a major player in healthcare. HP, obviously, manufacturer of computers and printers, and they are produced here in the U.S. Sushi or Soshi, again, a technology-driven manufacturing, and so those are some of the country companies in this country that will supply you with some of this stuff. But clothing, cheaper clothing, that's going to be a little challenging. All right, so let's look at some other ways. And Gilbert is still working on his sound. One some of the best what we're going to give you is, and there's a couple of blog posts out there teaching you how to find your wholesale suppliers for your small business. So below we list the 7 best tips with help that can help you create your potential partners. So look into wholesalers for drop shipping. So for those of you that don't know what drop shipping is, this is a large warehouse or house that houses products like T-shirts and apparel, maybe cups, saucers, notebooks, stationery type products, and then they drop ship them for you. So you can sign up with them, and they provide you the kind of the e-commerce type store, and they can, and then your customers can go to your website, purchase from there, and it's drop shipped directly from those particular wholesalers. So that means you don't have to worry about having um, on hand stock. The other are then you can search online for some of the best wholesale suppliers. You can read the labels and make sure you're very specific when you call them as to what you need and the timelines that you need them. You can ask other manufacturers because generally manufacturers kind of know who the other manufacturers are. You can ask your network how to find suppliers. Everybody right now is looking, so some people may be more adept at it than you are. And then your media. I think everyone should be developing their story and using your local media to help you locate suppliers or wholesalers that can provide you with the product that you are looking for. Trade shows and online wholesale directories. Now, for those of you in the food business, and I know Edward, you just hopefully your franchise has a direct line to those manufacturers or to those wholesalers that have that you can buy your fruits and vegetables from your fruits for your fruit basket. Let me see, Gilbert. You want me to try let you in on this one? Okay. Can you talk? No, you're not talking. Can you hear? Okay. All right. All righty. Um, so some other creative ways for those that are in the food business, and there's fresh vegetables. One, if you are, and I'm sure, yes, ma'am, very direct, and they're here in California. That's awesome. It's good to have a franchise because they have resources. When you're in this business by yourself, they don't have you don't have resources. So, um, but here's some of the things. So, obviously, uh, most people are going to places like Jeff Rose and some of the other food. If you're in the catering of the food industry, but you can actually go downtown Los Angeles. That is something that we do have. There's a there are a number of districts in downtown Los Angeles that bring in products for the wholesalers. And so you guys can try going down there. I know there's the flower district, there's the toy district, and then of course they're getting their stuff from China, but they may have already gotten their supplies in preparation for just the season, right? So there are many outlets downtown LA. I know my brother is a major. He loves going downtown LA, and so let's see. It's the shopping district, I think they call it, and so you can pretty much find a lot of it. So you have their malls. There's one on Fig and Seventh, and so those are there's clothing and that are inexpensive, but you can buy from them wholesale. So you use your wholesale license, and you can go there. There, you can be a consumer as well. The alley is actually for consumers, and then all around that alley, on 11th Street, 12th Street, all of those are most of those are wholesalers, and so they may have already gotten their stuff, or they may have been able to create or relationships with other countries that are not being affected right at the present moment, and they may have been able to ship. There is something called the block, where you can actually get some of your goods. And so, if you are, depending on the industry, you may be able to find some merchandise that you can purchase wholesale from downtown Los Angeles, especially if it's clothing, because that whole fashion district out there down there has some amazing things. So, if you have never been downtown LA, into the fashion district. In I think there's a household stores that sell household like towels and sheets and blankets and things like that. You can actually check that out, and so that might be your solution. Is just taking a tour downtown Los Angeles and being able to see what they have. Now, for those of you that are not in downtown Los Angeles, and I think our fashion district or that whole shopping district is kind of unique to us. I think the only other state that may have that is New York. Um, they're like at from Avenue Five, Fifth Avenue up to a certain number. There are a number of those wholesalers that sell like that in New York as well. So if you're there, but if you're not in those places, then you may want to look at some of the um, shipping suppliers. So one is called Alley Dropship. One is called Dropship.me. One is called Modalis. One is called Obilon, Printful, and Sprocket, and Sunrise Wholesale and Wholesale Central. So those are some of the wholesalers that you can search and see if they have products or at least that you can continue to drive revenue. It might not be what you're always selling, but again, like with a lot of these uh, places, you actually can set up a store or website through their uh, um, platforms, and you can sell through Shopify. You can sell through WooCommerce and places like that. So that may be an option for you, and that should be able to help you in certain places. You can capture your payments from there, and they're the ones worried about where it's coming from, not you. But at least it might get you at least until the holiday season if you can capture that. That was number one. So number two is you can also, as I said, search for your best wholesale suppliers. So use your favorite search engine. Use ChatGPT and Copilot and all those others, that Gemini and all those others out there. I think right now you need to use every resource that you can find, um, and in order to get what you need. Now, you can also read the labels on the brands or products that you're selling. Um, when you read their labels, you might find out who they use for their wholesale supplier, and you can now go direct to them and ask them if they can make suggestions of where you could actually get your product, because maybe some other outlets out there didn't sell as much product. And then, as we said, your network. Everyone should be building a network right now, and that network is using any of the online forums. Reddit is one of those. I think there's quite a few of those out there. LinkedIn, that's where the business population is. LinkedIn can help you. Depending on how active your your chambers of commerce are in the e-commerce space, and if they're kind of up to date, they may be able to help you. Some of the business resource centers possibly can help you. Um, I would say the SBA, but I'm not quite sure how much information they're getting, because I know they've had to lay off a number of uh, their um, their staff across the country. So that's number five, is asking those entities and seeing if anyone within the network, if you're a member of these chambers, if they have any information that they can share with you. The other one is number six, is use your social media to help you find wholesalers. So ask questions. Hey, I am looking for so and so and so and so. Can you help me? That would be on any of the social platforms that you're on. So that's Facebook, that's Instagram, that's TikTok, that's Threads, there's Blue Sky. There's so many of them out there now that you can ask, and then tell your story, and also see if there's any collaborations that you can do with other vendors. They may have something that you don't have, and you guys can collab together. I think right now we have to build up our own communities and our own networks that is going to help us do what we need to do. So I was reading that there's the latest trends in the use of social media has also been adopted by a lot of brands, manufacturers, and suppliers. So you have to look at your Instagram for inspiring products and then reach out to the suppliers directly. So go and look for and see if your supplier is actually trending. Now, I didn't hear that at one point China, you could actually do business with China up to or some other vendors, but China for sure, up to $800. But it's my understanding that that loophole has been closed by the president. But you might want to reach out to them directly, and maybe they can ship to another country. Might cost you not as much as a tariff, but it might, shipping might be, you might have to pay a little bit more for shipping, but they may be able to ship it to a country that is not being currently affected, and the relationship between that country and the country that the U.S. has a tariff with, there may not be any tariffs or restrictions there. So, for example, and I think there is a tariff on Vietnam, but let's say China can ship to Vietnam and there's no tariff on Vietnam, then Vietnam can ship to the United States, right? So you kind of you got to go through the list of who has been affected by the tariffs, and then see if while you're out there doing your detailed search, if you can find a supplier that has not been affected by it, and then your supplier is not affected by it. I know it's a lot more work than what you're accustomed to, but right now I think we're just in that space where we have to do everything, use every means necessary to get what we need to get. And Gilbert is still having problems with his sound. It just decided it was not going to work today. The other thing is, so number 7, so that's number 6. Check and see if you can find your manufacturers, your brand, the product brand, suppliers on social media, looking on all of yours, because they do a lot of direct on Facebook and Instagram, and I know on TikTok, and all of these social media platforms actually have marketplaces. So go to Facebook Marketplace, go to Instagram Marketplace, go to TikTok Marketplace, and you can actually see if your manufacturer or suppliers are actually there. The next one is your trade shows. So if trade shows generally are set up a year in advance, and so depending on the industry that you're in, there may be a trade show. Now, if there's a farmer that needs to get his product off out of his out of the out of his farm and to the consumer, or to the business owner, maybe you guys can strike up a deal, and you can go up and pick your own strawberries or pick your own vegetables. Some of these farms are really not far. In Fontana, I think there's some farms. If you have to drive up to you go to San Bernardino, Lancaster, Bakersfield. These are where the farms are in that are hour, maybe hour and a half, and that may be worth the trip to go up and help them pull it off the what you need, and or take a whole caravan. Maybe you are part of a restaurant or a food forum, and you guys all go up there and pick up your own stuff. That's a solution as well. Now we got to be real creative. And so let's see, trade shows. I know in Los Angeles, there are a number of small business expos, and you can also go to all of the what are they conference, Long Beach, is it not chambers, convention centers. So all of the cities that have convention centers, they generally have trade shows. And so you can go to these convention centers calendar and see what trade shows are happening for 2025. And so those of you who are in Los Angeles, it would be the convention center in Los Angeles Convention Center. And I know for a fact because I used to have I was launching a business in the fashion, in the hair industry, hair wellness, and these are industry professionals and buyers that actually will come and bring all that information, displays, demonstrations, and that way you're meeting new suppliers, and you're meeting usually the people, the manufacturers, in person. So a lot of the trade shows are the healthcare industry, the manufacturing industry, the technology industry, and the agriculture industry, and there are trade shows everywhere. And in Los Angeles, um, you can actually go to the Pomona Fair. A lot of the farmers bring their foods there, and there are some others. I think in Ventura, they also have a fairground, and so any one of these places also can help you as well. Trade shows are actually a great way to get ahead of your competitors because generally, when they're there, they are bringing whatever new and current in the space. And they are not very expensive, actually, in some cases. And then there are trade shows that are all over the world, but mostly. So let's see, the biggest trade show in North America is the CES trade show, and that's always in Las Vegas, and that's the Consumer Electronics Show. They have, I think they have a number of fashion. They have trades for the fashion industry. Las Vegas is just a wealth of trade shows. They have about 75 in a year, and they have close to 24,000 convention centers and meetings, and they're all in one place. So maybe you want to just take a little drive to Las Vegas and find out what you can find out and develop some relationships, which actually could change some things for you. Build up a list of contacts, as well as meet other individuals and business owners like yourself. You could possibly find some partners that can help you. And so that's number 7, trade shows. I think trade shows are awesome. I used to go to trade shows 2-3 times a year. I found some amazing stuff out there in the trade for the world. Then there's online wholesale directories and wholesale marketplaces. So those are some places that you can check out, and they target some specific industries of products. Um, some cost money, some do not. Some of them are free. So here are some of these directories. The EU distributors.com, and that website, I can put it on our YouTube channel, and you can go over there. So those are www.eu-distributors.com. Don't know what they sell, but there's a hyperlink here. I'll check. The wholesalers.company.uk. Don't know if there's a tariff situation going on with America and the UK, possibly. But it's online, so it may not affect you. The wholesalersnetwork.com, that sounds like that would be a great one, and the wholesalecentral.com. And so these markets are places are similar to directories, but different by letting you buy from the supplier right away via the wholesale marketplace. In recent years, the wholesale marketplaces have become very popular channels both for brands, manufacturers, and suppliers. So those are some of the places. Let's just take a look at so I can just see what is on there, and it can be beneficial to you guys. I can't open that one. Let's see why I can't open that one. Ah, so the Wholesale Central, it is America's leading B2B directory. Connects with top wholesale suppliers and finds products that sell. So Amazon has suppliers, apparel, drop shippers, electronics, general merchandise, gifts, health, beauty, and wellness, jewelry, made in the USA, and smoking products. And it is just a wealth of information here. Um, yeah, you guys might want to check that out. So it is called the wholesalecentral.com. So, and they even have a trade show. Oh, they actually have a whole calendar of trade shows that are all over the country. Oh, yeah, this is a great resource, guys. Just spend your Saturday if you're not working on this site. Okay, so that, and they have for retailers for suppliers and suppliers for new buyers. So that is an excellent resource. So check those out. What else we have here? Um, Oh, and then some of the popular wholesale marketplace is Etsy.com. So you can go to their website, FAIRE.com. You can go to that website, HelloAbound.com, and then Tundra.com. So those sites, so if you're looking for wholesale household products, it looks like that's what these may have for you. And you can find brands, um, household products actually. So if that's your business, and they have low order minimums, thousands of brands, 60 days to pay, interest free, and so they have coffee, AirPods, jewelry making supplies, Pokemon, and some other things there. So if that's your business, then that might be a great space for you. And big news. So this group here, they have thousands of products from top tier brands integrated directly to your Shopify front store. Low acquisition costs. Looking to connect to some premium stores. So there you go. That might be an answer for some of you. Etsy is also they're more the DIY and the specific made products by individuals. So they may do that as well. So 7 things to consider choosing a wholesale supplier. They've compiled, this blog has compiled 7 things to consider. One is the industry, your price, shipping policies, location, trustworthiness, size, and if they have a B2B e-commerce platform. So very, very important. And also you want to make sure what the trade agreements or trade situations are for any of those suppliers. That should be your first question, I guess, and what that percentage is that has been applied to them. The industry, a good place to start looking for wholesalers in the industry that have been in business for several years. And then, of course, you want to make sure they have strong reputations, and long-term senior executives, and that it usually indicates a lot of experience and they're good at maximizing value in the supply chain. So now we got to get kind of detailed. We just can't take things at face value, guys. We have to really do our due diligence. The price obviously is important because um, see if they offer any kind of discount, see if there are minimum order requirements, what their wholesale unit prices are. Even if there are tariffs, it still may be more comparable and more affordable than if you were doing it direct plus the tariff, shipping policies, where they're located, making sure it's parallel to the prices and be aware of their location. And trustworthiness obviously goes without saying. I would actually even go and do a deeper dive on Yelp and Google and places like that to see what the feedback has been, and make sure they have all the sizes you need, and then make sure that there's a central B2B e-commerce platform. And so those are just some of the things you guys can look at, and hopefully those are some solutions that can help you during this time. And maybe these are new relationships that you guys are going to build. And then most importantly, us working together and seeing if we can solve these problems with each other as opposed to by ourselves. It's always better with two than it is with one. And so that's all about I have to say on this topic. I just think and I think you need to be telling your story. If your business is about to close down, I think you need to get on social media and start reaching out and letting your customers know exactly what is happening. Um, and what you guys need to do in order to stay alive during this time. So we right now just have to we're in survival mode. And then some of you may want to think about doing some pivoting. I know during the pandemic, there were people that all of a sudden started manufacturing um, um, hand sanitizer. They were doing lotion, they did hand sanitizer. They just kind of shifted over their business so that they can meet the needs of what people needed, what people want. So, might mean it's time to pivot again 5 years later. So that's pretty much what we have to say. Since Gilbert can't join me, he's listening today. But he's taking in the information, and so we'll be back next week with some more wonderful information. And however we can help you guys, you can go to our YouTube channel. You can hit that subscribe button. If anyone out there has some suggestions for any other business that's out there, go to our YouTube channel or even for us to disseminate. Put it in the comments, and then we'll make sure everyone gets that. We're actually going to be kicking off our newsletter. Oh, okay. We're going to be kicking off our newsletter, and so I will be putting some of this information in our newsletter. I would say I'm going to try to get it out by next week, and so this particular show will possibly be on there, or some of the clips that we have on our YouTube channel, and so now you guys have a place where if you don't catch us doing on Fridays at 3 o'clock, if we have your email list, if you're on our email list or you subscribe to us on our website, then we will be sending you out information on our channel. I'm sorry, in our new newsletter. So subscribe to our channel. There's the QR code right there. Go and it'll take you directly to the Business Zone YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button, and we're going to try to be during this very critical time. We're going to try to be a very effective resource for you. So with that, guys, we want to thank you for joining us. Come back next week. Gilbert will have sound next week, and he will be joining us. And you guys have a great weekend. Be safe out there. There's lots of stuff happening. So be cautious, be safe, be and we will see you all next week. Have a great week, guys. And as I said, be safe out there. And so we're gonna hit our. I said, Gilbert, I'm gonna hit it all because I don't think you can do any of this now, huh? So here, see you guys next week. Gilbert says bye. Say bye, Gilbert. And we'll see you. Edward, thank you for joining us, and congratulations on your edibles. He bought a franchise, and so maybe we're gonna have Gilbert Edward on to talk about what that looks like and how that can be definitely a viable a way to get into business, a business that's already set up and ready to go. It is what they call turnkey business, but he can give you all the ins and outs. So I'll talk to Edward, and so he can share what that looks like. All right, guys, have a great week, and we'll see you next week. All righty, let me see what happened here.
As a small
There we go.
As a small biz pro, I saw we roll, using procurement, program, and control. As a small biz pro, I saw we grow, using procurement,